The movie tells the deeply emotional and tragic story of Enitan, a black British boy who grows up with a profound hatred for himself and his identity. This self-loathing, combined with the hostility of the world around him, leads him down a destructive path, where his need for acceptance and belonging is cruelly manipulated by the very people who should have protected him. Enitan's journey reveals the devastating consequences of racism, neglect, and the loss of cultural connection. The story begins with a jarring and unforgettable scene. Enitan, now a teenager, is leading a group of white skinheads as they chase down a black man. The man pleads with Enitan, calling him brother, but instead of showing mercy, Enitan punches him mercilessly. It's a shocking act of violence that sets the tone for the movie, leaving viewers wondering how a young boy could end up in such a dark place. We are then taken back to the beginning of Enitan's story, where his struggles first began. As a baby, just 6 weeks old, Enitan's Nigerian parents made the difficult decision to place him in the care of Ingrid, a white foster mother in 1980s London. At the time, they were struggling students and believed this arrangement would give Enitan a better life. This practice, known as farming, was common among Nigerian families in the UK, who hoped that entrusting their children to white working-class families would secure them greater opportunities. But for Enitan, this arrangement becomes the root of his turmoil. As Enitan grows up, his life with Ingrid is far from the loving and supportive environment his parents envisioned. Ingrid is harsh, manipulative, and verbally abusive, often threatening to send him back to Woogalooga land, a racist and demeaning term she uses whenever he misbehaves. Her words cut deep, planting seeds of shame and self-hatred in Enitan from a young age. At school, things are no better. Enitan is the target of relentless bullying from both his classmates and neighborhood kids. He is seen as different, not fully belonging to any group, and this isolation drives him further into himself. He becomes a lonely child, retreating to the corner of the foster home, playing with imaginary friends behind the couch. His biological parents, who have now become successful lawyers, are absent from his life, leaving him with no anchor to his cultural identity or sense of self-worth. One particularly painful memory highlights the depth of Ingrid's manipulation. She takes Enitan shopping and persuades him to steal a necklace for her. When he is caught, she humiliates him in front of the shopkeeper, chastising him as though she had no part in the theft. Later, when Enitan gives her the necklace as a gift, hoping to win her approval, he finds out that she gave it away to one of her favorite foster children. This moment of betrayal shatters Enitan, reinforcing the idea that he is unworthy of love. Things take an even darker turn when Enitan is attacked on the street by a group of boys. They set a dog on him, leaving him with severe injuries and 15 stitches. When his biological father hears about the incident, he reacts with cold indifference, ordering Enitan to fight back instead of comforting him. Handing him a brick, his father tells him to return to the streets and stand up for himself, refusing to let him come home until he does. This harsh response only deepens Enitan's feelings of abandonment. Hoping to reconnect him with his roots, Enitan's parents take him to Nigeria. But what they see as a chance for cultural immersion feels alien to Enitan. He hardly speaks for 6 months and struggles to adapt to the environment. In their desperation, his parents subject him to a traditional spiritual ritual, hoping it will heal his silence and restore his sense of belonging. However, the experience only adds to his confusion and alienation. At school in Nigeria, Enitan faces more challenges. He refuses to use his Nigerian name, leading to a violent clash with a teacher. After being expelled from multiple schools for fighting with teachers, his parents decide to send him back to England. This decision marks another chapter of displacement in Enitan's life, as he returns to the foster home where his pain began. By now, Enitan has internalized the belief that his blackness is a curse. In a heartbreaking moment, he attempts to scrub away his skin color in the bathroom, using a brush to scrape his skin raw and covering himself in talcum powder, as if to erase the very thing he blames for his suffering. As a teenager, Enitan starts a new term at secondary school, but his troubles follow him. On his first day, he is the only black student in the class. His frustration boils over when he insults a black teacher, Ms. Depot, who tries to help him. The classroom turns against him, and a fight breaks out, resulting in his suspension. Outside the school, Enitan encounters the Tilbury Skins, a violent gang of white skinheads. They brutally beat him, strip him naked, and spray paint his body with racist slogans like "Keep Britain White." Despite this horrifying initiation, Enitan begins to gravitate toward the gang. Levi, the gang leader, dehumanizes him further, subjecting him to mental and physical abuse before forcing him to join their attacks on other black people. In a twisted attempt to belong, Enitan adopts their hatred, believing that by outmatching their violence, he can earn their respect and find a place in their world. The gang's rituals grow more grotesque. In one initiation, Enitan is forced to abuse a pig. Instead, he kills the animal, a defiant act that earns him a warped sense of approval from Levi. From victim to aggressor, Enitan transforms into a tool of their hatred, participating in vicious attacks and escalating the gang's reign of terror. The movie's gripping journey continues as Enitan sinks deeper into the clutches of his identity crisis and gang affiliations. One of the most heart-wrenching moments unfolds when the Tilbury Skins attack Ms. Depot, the black teacher who once tried to help Enitan. She pleads with him for help, but Enitan, paralyzed by fear or perhaps his allegiance to the gang, does nothing but look on. His silence speaks volumes, marking another step in his tragic descent. Enitan's hatred for his own race becomes even more apparent during a chilling encounter on the streets. His mother, while out walking, stumbles upon the Tilbury gang in a brawl with a group of black sailors. After overpowering the sailors, the gang robs them of their belongings, a brutal act that underscores how far Enitan has strayed. His mother is left horrified, her worst fears about her son's transformation confirmed. Later, Enitan's mother confronts him in his room. By now, he's 16, hardened, and defiant. She questions why he hasn't returned to school even though his suspension ended a month ago, and she accuses him of being involved in gang fights. Enitan's chilling response, "I am the law," reflects the extent of his rebellion and the dangerous path he's on. Meanwhile, tensions between the Tilbury Skins and their rival gang, the Greyskins, escalate. The Greyskins stockpile weapons, preparing for an ambush at a bar frequented by the Tilbury gang. As the bar fight erupts, chaos ensues. Enitan, in the middle of it all, narrowly escapes an encounter with Levi's girlfriend, who tries to seduce him in the washroom. He flees, only to find himself caught in the middle of the Greyskins' surprise attack. The police intervene, arresting everyone involved. However, only the Tilbury gang members are bailed out, highlighting the systemic inequities that surround them. Enitan's mother, determined to save her son, bails him out. But his return home is far from a fresh start. Confronted with the consequences of his actions, Enitan seems to hit rock bottom. In a dramatic turn of events, the gang prepares for another showdown with the Greyskins. This time, the Greyskins demand a one-on-one fight, singling out Enitan as their opponent. Levi, the Tilbury gang leader, agrees, despite protests from the other members who see it as a betrayal. Enitan is brutally beaten and abandoned by his gang, left to fend for himself. When he confronts Levi afterward, demanding answers, Levi coldly dismisses him, declaring that Enitan would never lead the gang. Fueled by rage and humiliation, Enitan challenges Levi to a fight. The confrontation ends with Enitan delivering a decisive blow, stabbing Levi and claiming leadership of the gang. But his triumph is short-lived. His mother, realizing that drastic action is the only way to save her son, calls the police. Enitan is arrested, marking the beginning of a turning point in his life. While in custody, Enitan's biological parents come from Nigeria to secure his release. Instead of gratitude, he lashes out at them, even physically attacking his father. He escapes the police and runs to the car junkyard, where other gang members plot his demise. However, they find him hanging and unconscious, an act of desperation that signals his inner turmoil. Miraculously, he survives, and this moment becomes a catalyst for change. 6 months later, we see Enitan released from juvenile detention. His Nigerian parents, recognizing the need for a structured environment, arrange for him to attend the Brady Institute to study law. His secondary school teacher, Ms. Depot, steps forward to support him, offering guidance and encouragement. Overwhelmed by her kindness and the weight of his past actions, Enitan breaks down, finally confronting the pain and guilt that have haunted him. Enitan's life takes a positive turn as he begins to rebuild himself. With the help of a social worker, supportive peers, and dedicated teachers, he secures admission to a boarding school in Surrey. Despite the challenges he faces, Enitan works hard and achieves passing grades in his exams. This small victory boosts his confidence and sets him on a path to success. From a troubled and angry youth, Enitan transforms into a determined and accomplished individual. He earns a master's degree in law and later finds his passion in acting and directing, joining the prestigious Whale Academia. The real-life Enitan, whose story inspired the film, becomes a celebrated actor and director, featuring in various films and series. Comment down below your thoughts. Did Enitan parents failed him, or they tried to give him brighter future by sending him to live in UK? What could have his parents done differently for Enitan to choose right path? Did you enjoy the recap? Please like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated next time we drop. Thanks for watching.